Hey everyone, I'm Michelle Lilly. I'm a singer, a songwriter, an entrepreneur, a mom, and yes, I love to cook. Welcome to my channel, Michelle Lilly TV, where you'll find everything from official videos to live shows, and also me cooking right at home all of my favorite recipes just for you. Subscribe now, and welcome to my journey. That looks good. My homemade tomato sauce. If you feel like getting that recipe together with my parmigiana that I'm cooking tonight, stay tuned together with all the other fabulous recipes that I cook for my family every single night. So I decided to share this with you guys and start this new journey. Let me know what you think. Stay tuned. Here we are. I'm starting to make my homemade fresh tomato sauce. So what I do is I use 3 of these San Marzano peeled tomato cans. They're 28 ounces each. And then I use 3 of these organic tomato sauce cans of 15 ounces each. So there's 6 cans in there. And then you give it a good smash and a good mash. And honestly, I'll just do this until all of the tomatoes are crushed. So give it a really good consistency. I personally really like a chunky tomato sauce. I don't like it too runny, but then again, we don't want it, too chunky because we do need a sauce for the parmigiana. And I always make a huge pot because, it takes quite a bit of time to do this. It takes me about 2 to 3 hours, depending on how much time I have to make my sauce. It's on a very low flame. Okay, so my sauce is cooking nicely. As you can see, I have crushed all of those tomatoes, and we can put this aside for now. Now I have some leftover wine from last night that my husband didn't finish, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pour that into my sauce. Hey, that we don't leave anything to go to waste in this family. And I always have a nice open bottle of wine right there. We're gonna give it a nice little pour. I think putting some red wine in your sauce is very important because it gives it that nice color. As you can see, from like a bright red, it's gonna turn to like a dark red. Now, what I do is I always get fresh garlic, and I take the cloves and I freeze them because I find they go bad quite easily. And I'm gonna put 4 whole garlic cloves in here, and they'll defrost on their own while cooking. I mean, you can be generous. You can put 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do what you gotta do. I'm gonna do, you know what? We'll throw an extra in. Let's do 5. I like a little garlicky. And then I'm gonna be quite heavy on my seasonings. I like sea salt in my tomato sauce. I generally only cook with Mediterranean sea salt. We're gonna put a nice amount of dried parsley and dried basil. If you have fresh basil, even better. At the moment, I don't have any fresh basil, so I'm gonna do what I can. Oregano. I put a little less of that because it's a very strong taste. And if you want spicy, you can do a little bit of pepper flakes. I'm gonna do only a little bit to give it a little kick. And then I'm all about my fresh pepper. There we go. I'm gonna put that in and put this down. So I went ahead and put in that fresh pepper. Sarah needed 2 hands for that. And I'm gonna let that sit. Be very generous with your olive oil. I use extra virgin olive oil. It's the only kind I usually ever cook with unless the recipe requires something different. And now I'm going to just let it simmer. I'm going to cover it. And right now it's 318, and we're gonna let that cook. So here we are. It's cooking really nicely. Ooh, that looks really good. Just make sure you guys come here every once in a while, like every 20 minutes, I would say, and give it a good stir. And so my sauce has been cooking now for about an hour. It's 4:24, and this is what it looks like. Can't see anymore. All of the vapor. There we go. Hi. This is what cooking and mom life is at the same time. I can never do anything. Yes, can you give mommy 1 second? Anyways, so the sauce has been cooking for about an hour. Half of the water has obviously evaporated, so the sauce is gonna shrink and it's gonna get thicker in consistency. You obviously don't want it to get too thick. Don't evaporate all the water, you know. Keep stirring it, keep an eye on it, but at the same time, you know, you want it to be like a nice sauce. You don't want it to be too runny. Okay, so my sauce has been cooking for almost 2 hours now, and I did move it to the back burner because I just thought it was too close to the edge, and my daughter kept coming around here, and I just thought it's better to move it. By the way, tomato sauce does make an absolute mess in your kitchen. As you can see, it's like literally splatting everywhere. I'm super OCD when it comes to cleanliness, so like literally every single splat, I'm like, oh, time to clean. Or you can just wait until the end because it will be messy. So the temperature obviously is making it really, really bubble. I'm going to go ahead and put a little more olive oil and stir that in. And then soon, you're gonna see what I'm gonna do. Stay tuned. Oh my gosh, big mess. Time to cover the butt. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. Hilarious. Hey everyone. So the sauce has officially been cooking for 2 hours now. I turned it off. It was really bubbling out of control. I couldn't even talk to you guys. If I removed this, it would have been like, bam, in the camera. So I turned it off. I let it cool down for like a minute just so that when I do raise this, I don't, you know, burn myself. Of course, that's #1 priority. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. This is what it looks like. It's a really nice color, a great consistency. As you can see, it's thick, but not too thick. It is a little clumpy. I like it. You know, the peeled tomatoes did that, obviously, as opposed to if I was to only just use tomato sauce. Now, we're gonna put in a nice amount of cheese. So after I put the cheese in, and keep in mind that it's obviously, you know, to one's liking to put cheese in tomato sauce. I personally couldn't live without it. So the cheese was like about a handful of cheese. I put it in here. I also just put a dab of red wine because I thought it was a little too dry then with the cheese, and I cooked it for another 20 minutes. And right now it's 5:37. So I would say that it's ready to go. I'm just gonna close it and just let it sit. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I am not a huge fan of putting sugar in my tomato sauce. I know this is like, you know, the big question. Do you put sugar in your tomato sauce or not? One thing I can't stand is when I try tomato sauce and it's sweet. It's just gross. It should be like tomato. If I wanted something sweet, I'm gonna eat cake. I'm gonna have cookies and cream like my new song. So anyways, I hope you are enjoying my cooking, and I will put on some music and start dancing. Definitely the parmigiana is a long process. So I'm definitely gonna pour a glass of wine, blast that music, and have some fun while I'm doing it. So stay tuned. Ciao.